All right,
So like, when did I show love and it wasn't received? My father. So, like I mentioned earlier, my mother had me young. It's like 17. Had my whole family, her side of the family raised me. So, going to my dad, love him very much. Don't respect him. Mainly because he was a cheater. Cheated on my mother when I was like 2 or 3. That whole thing ended. My mother starts dating other people, so I already know my dad is not even in her future. Like, she is over him. And when I went to go visit my father in those coming years as a kid, who would go say, "Yeah, I want to stay at my dad's house." I have to call him myself, talk to my dad because my mom isn't going to be the one to do that because she hates him, and then go to my father's house by having her drop me off, and she's like, "Hey," to my stepmother, and then, "How are you?" to my father. So seeing that whole dynamic was interesting, and then just the entire time being every single time being around my dad, I felt the love, but it was never enough. Like, it felt like, I'm here, I'm finally here, and then it's like, yeah, you're here, cool, all right, and it's like, okay, and like I felt like he never knew what to do with me. And then, as I got older, he had my brother and my sister, and that was what I went to go visit more often for. And I'm like, well, I'm not really visiting for you anymore. I'm visiting for my brother and sister. Like, you're just here. And I started to realize that. And it's like the first time I realized that he actually made a very heavy impact on how love is in my life, and it like was a negative, like a pretty negative impact. Was like, I can say I love you and go do whatever I want, and you still know that I love you. But it's like, whatever I'm doing is super selfish, and that's something I had to like break. And I'm still breaking that, which is crazy. Like, it's something that I'm like, because he did a lot of selfish things, and the number one thing is like, when I was like in those years, my mom and him separated. He would say, "Oh, I'm gonna come see you." Never saw me. So he would just. I had that, but it's literally suppressed in my head because I don't remember them happening. I never remember those days. I don't remember him saying that to me. And my mother's like, "That happened," and I was like, "Well, I don't remember." So that must have been some stuff I suppressed. Some heavy shit. And because all I remember is finally going to his house and seeing him and my brothers and sisters. All I remember is the good times. So I feel like my brain was just like, no. And then being told that, it's like, oh wow. And then having a it's interesting. My dad started to show love a lot more when I got older because he started to realize the error of all his ways, and like what he wanted to actually be a father and be there. So it just felt weird. Like, I was kind of like the trial kid, and then the other two were like the successes. So I have this weird place with my father where it's like, I love him, but I don't think he will ever truly like love me.
Wise man close his mouth, madman close his fist, young man